Oh, there we go. So my microphone, so all that time you guys heard absolutely nothing.
There we go.
You guys heard absolutely nothing. I forgot to add myself to the stage. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. So none of that audio was actually, you guys heard nothing. So we're 10, 11, 12 minutes in. It's probably like 11 minutes in, and you guys heard absolutely nothing. Oh my gosh. And I'm going to have to edit because that's a really long time. And most people probably aren't going, they're going to probably click off the playback of this video. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe it. It's been a minute. 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 So, I completely forgot to check to make sure that I was added to, because it's been a minute since I like literally been on my computer having both monitors and just feeling kind of normal again. So I did not realize that I was not added to the stage. I'm like, I'm looking at the microphone, I'm seeing it go up and down, I'm seeing the needle move, but I was not added to the stage. So you guys heard nothing. All right, so let's try this again. All right. I'm going to make sure that you guys can hear me now. I did hear myself, but I didn't see any comments kind of come on the screen to signify that you guys are able to hear me. So if you can let me know if you can hear me, because I do see one that just says screen frozen and no sound, but I did see that pop up before I added myself to the stage. So let me know. Clap. If you guys can hear me, clap once. All right. Which when I asked that question, no one responded. I should have known something was wrong and I should have checked for that. So, hey, just say. All right. Let me know. Let me know. Okay. Thank you so much, Jesse, for letting me know that you can hear me now. All right. Cool beans, cool beans, cool beans. Okay. So let's start over. All right. Hello, everyone. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365, home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products. We carry the absolute best sublimation paper and ink on the market. If you have not tried out our products, visit our website, shop.hsink365.com. That's also where you'll be able to get more information about our classes, like our Essentials of Silhouette Studio. That is our full program that teaches you the ins and outs of Silhouette Studio. It's a 30-day course, and then we had a 13-week refresher that we wrapped up at the end of March. We're going to do it again in July. Next year, we're only doing one refresher, so hopefully you guys don't wait until next year to kind of join it. You can start learning now. The price will change before July, so get it now and get access to the July refresh that you'll be able to attend live Zoom sessions, be able to attend for free. So make sure that you guys sign up and enroll for that. All right. Now, let's talk about what you guys are here for. And I did this whole little spiel while I was sharing out. Like I thought I was doing the darn thing. I was sharing out. And also kind of giving, context to what we're going to learn today. So I'm just going to go back to the title screen for just a moment. So I have an order for a client to print out some decals. It's really popular now in more places for Styrofoam cups, and they're like for little parties, little kickbacks, things like that. So it's like an inexpensive way to add a personalized touch by adding a decal to Styrofoam cups. And some people are using regular plastic cups, like the clear ones, or even red solo cups. It's just an inexpensive way to just kind of add a little bit of a personalized touch, like I said. So I've done this before. So this is something that's not, new for me, because I have put decals on cups, whether I'm using regular adhesive vinyl that I just cut, weed, and apply, or if I'm putting basically a sticker and using sticker paper, because I have 6 Silhouette Cameos. So doing a print and cut, which is essentially, this is just what it is. It's a print and cut. I just so happen to be doing the print and cut on my ROland BN20 now, because I don't have to print it out, take it off the printer, load it onto a mat, put it in the machine. only, you're limited to 11 by 17, at the most, if you can find 11 by 17 sticker paper, or, like 8.5 by 11. So with my ROland BN20, I'm able to do 18.3 inches wide of actual print. It holds a 20-inch media, but I'm normally doing like 18.3 inches wide of actual like printed, of actual like prints, and for it to cut out. So that makes it a lot easier because I just go set it, it prints out, it pulls it back, it goes in and cuts it. So it's absolutely amazing. Like I said, you can do this with a regular Silhouette Cameo machine. And that is when you'll just do basically the print and cut part of it. In this particular training, even if you don't have a ROland, so I don't want you to turn away if you're like, hey, this doesn't apply to me, I don't have a ROland. I promise you, I can assure you that there's still going to be lessons for you in this. So do not turn away from this, this training. If you have questions about tracing, mainly trace and detach, we're going to cover that in this. Okay. Well, actually, let's back up. The client designed this in Canva. Now, some would say, oh my God, why go through all of these different programs? Because we are going to go from Canva. Well, I'm not going to go from Canva. She sent it to me as a PNG, but she designed it in Canva. So we basically are going from Canva to Silhouette Studio to Illustrator, and then that's going to be opened up in Versaworks. So to get this decal done, this particular one, it's going to have to go through 4 different systems. I know that may seem like a lot, but Canva is on the rise. A lot of people are using it to get into designing, especially if they have Pro, because there's so many, little elements and things in there where you don't have to search for it online and then down. Like there could still be a lot of steps. If I were to do this, let's say in Silhouette Studio or even in directly from Illustrator, you would have to go find all of those elements, download all of those elements, and different programs because of what each program is designed to do. So in this case, she designed it over there, and then she sent me the PNG. So I now have to go and take this into Silhouette Studio and do a trace and detach on it. I'm going to release compound path. So if you are someone that has questioned, hey, what is compound path? When do I use it? When do I make it? When do I release it? How does that work? This is going to be one part of how compound path works. Okay. There's a lot of different uses for compound path. But I'm just going to demonstrate one of the ways that, I use release compound path. So it's going to cover that. Then we have to, we're going to do some copying, we're going to do some welding. And once I have all that set up and I make it, we're going to also make something a compound path. I'm then going to open it in Illustrator. Now in Illustrator, it's literally just one step. It's going to be me changing the line color and then saving it. That's it. One step and then save. That is it. And that's how we set the cut or apply the cut contour lines. So I've already gone through the whole thing of setting up my spot color for cut contour, but then I'm just going to go and do that one step. I have to do that step in order for Versaworks, which is not a design program. So you have to use an outside design software regardless of what, because Versaworks is not a design program. It's basically a RIP software. It's where you bring your file in and it's going to tell the printer, like the ROland, how to cut. Like you can set your color properties, like your color profile, the quality that you want it to cut, how do you set your cut settings, things of that nature. And then it's just going to rip it, which is what it's called, and then print it. And then it'll just send it back, through to cut. So that's all that Versaworks is. So you're going to have to use something outside of that to create your design. Now, some may say, well, why go into Silhouette Studio to trace it when you can do all of that in Illustrator? One of the best features of Silhouette Studio is that trace and detach feature. It's like none other. It's not, there's nothing like it in Illustrator, where it will keep the image as is and basically just remove that outline and then put the cut contour. So you would have to make a duplicate, and then you have to do like you have to do a trace and kind of play around with like the lines a little bit. Then you have to expand that and then put the spot color on the expansion. Like, so you want to have a duplicate of, you never want to do it like on the actual one and put that as a colored outline. So you're still having to do multiple steps. Silhouette Studio, in my professional and personal opinion, it just makes it so much easier because it is just one step. You go, you put the box around it, you increase your threshold, you trace and detach. And for the most part, that would be like the end of it. And then you can, do the part to put the additional one on top, the additional print or copy of it on top. But I'm going to, like I said, do another step because they're meant to be no hassle and like something that's really, really easy to do or set up for these for these styrofoam cups. I need to what's what I'm looking for? I want to make it a single cut. And the way this design is set up, there would technically be some inner parts to it. So that's where the release compound path comes in at. This is also where you're going to see me do a little bit of point editing. And then there's another little, it'll be like a little hack or like a little, I'm going to say a hack. It's just a professional like tip. And you're going to see what I mean by that when I get to that part. So you're going to see like just this full setup of me just setting up this design. And there's going to be a lot of lessons in it. My recommendation is to make sure that you save this video, or i.e. bookmark it. That way you can come back to it. Leave yourself notes in the comment sections for the parts that are most important to you. So if you are needing to focus on tracing, whatever that timestamp is, put that in there, put tracing. That way you know to come back to this video and you can find your comment and you can click on that timestamp. It's going to jump right to that section that you need, okay? So if you needed to understand or you wanted a demo of compound path, those are going to be in here. Point editing, that's going to be in here. So it's going to be a lot of lessons, guys. Even if you do not have a ROland BN20, this will be helpful for you in just setting up your files for print and cut, no matter which print and cut system you are using, okay? All right, so we're all in understanding of what we're going to do today, all right? So hello. Let me know you can hear me. So incredible morning, incredible greetings. Welcome. Thank you guys so very much for clicking on the video and joining me today. You could be listening to anyone, doing anything. If you're driving, you're sneaking in at work. I thank you for, risking it all to watch your girl and learn something today. You guys know that whenever I, do a video, you're going to learn something. It is always pen and paper worthy. Hit that share button, guys. Help out the platform by sharing. I know that you guys probably have met some people in all of the Facebook groups and things like that. Share it with a crafty friend. Share. The same way that we share all of like the little fun and this can help somebody as well. The way the other videos and other posts may help bring a smile to someone's face and it'll make them laugh. This is going to be helpful as well. This is going to help so many crafters and creators who are struggling with just getting started, understanding Silhouette Studio. If they have questions about, upgrading. It took me a long time to upgrade. I was doing print and custom, just doing regular ones for several years. I've only had my ROland for maybe about 3, maybe 4 years now. I think I probably got it in 2020. I think that's when I got it. So I haven't had it, the entire time. I did start, just like many others, doing regular print and cuts with an external printer and then loading it into a machine. Oh, thank you so very much for that. Thank you. So if you're ready, say I'm ready. If you're ready, say you're ready. Let me know ready in the comments if you guys are ready. I'm ready. No, I'm ready to learn from you. Okay, there we go. There we go. Ready, 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 ready. Awesome, 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 awesome. All right, cool. Y'all are the bomb.com. Thank you so much. All right. So let's hop into this. Hey, let me know. How many of you guys are using Silhouette Studio? If you're new, put new. If you've never used it before, but you have a cutting machine, list the cutting machine that you use. If you're interested in really, really learning this, let me know. Hey, Miss Dawn, how are you? Okay, so like I said, this was done in Canva, not by me. It was submitted by a client. We do have a print shop here in the South Florida area. So we have clients who will, create their designs, and we basically just set them up and print them out, but they are the ones that design them. So this is one of our HS Sync 365 print client designs. And I'm just, this is basically for demonstration purposes or educational purposes, just to show you how to set this up. So you're going to bring the image in. You can either go file, merge, file, open, or you can drag and drop. So you want to, now this is, it's so much, y'all. Like right now, we're really like, I'm going to just be very honest and transparent. This is jumping into the middle because I know the questions will come. Well, how do you set this up? How, what size do you make it in Canva? Oh, when I do it in Canva, my images come in to Silhouette Studio. Like if you're trying this, like you've watched one of my other videos, you're like, oh, mine is coming in small. Now, that's a story for another day because it's so many lessons. I know that we want to try and get it done and be able to watch TikTok videos that are like 30 seconds, a minute long, watch really quick YouTube videos, but you're going to have to watch a bunch of them to get the full scope, because designing and setting it up, like I actually had to, with this particular client, I had to go through, hey, this is how you need to set it up, because how you were doing it before, it is coming in too small. And then once I increase the size to the size that you need, it is not clear. Like it's pixelating it even more because it's coming in too small. So there are certain ways that has to be set up over there. It starts with, whatever you're designing is setting that up properly. We have classes on that, guys. We have classes. I know, YouTube is what we try, get all our free things, and we want free. But in order to really, really understand design, I mean, you need to be in a class where the instructor will have time to really break that down for you and answer your questions. Okay. So we design it. That was already done. I'm not going over how the design was created. That's a whole nother thing. Okay. So, but bringing it in, once you go, you download it, you're going to drag and drop, like I said, open or hit merge if you're like working on something else. This is going to come in because it was saved as a PNG. It's a transparent background. There is a thing that's called automatic PNG trace. I do not recommend it at all because it actually takes away the true PNG characteristic, I guess you say, or like element, where it's not really a transparent background. It actually converts it into a JPEG, but it automatically does the trace and detach. But if you ever have to like make any adjustments, things like that, you move any of the edit points, you'll notice that the around it is now white. It's no longer a transparent background how you saved it. So I don't recommend the automatic PNG trace. I'm going to always recommend that you just go ahead, bring in, like turn that off, bring in your PNG, and you do the tracing yourself. That's always going to be my recommendation. Okay. So to trace this, and the reason why we have to trace it is we need to have the lines around it. The machines have to know whether you're using a Cameo, if you're using a ROland BN20 or any other print and cut device, it has to know this. It's called a vector line. All of these machines, a laser machine, a CNC router, they all read paths, vector paths, and you have to create this. If I were to send this and just have it print and cut, it would do basically a rectangle. Right? You see those 4 dots on there? And let me just turn on my line color. So that's where it would cut. It would not contour around it. So you have to trace and detach. When you trace and detach, it will still, this will still be a raster. It's going to still be a flattened image, but it's going to put a vector outline or a selection around it that has edit points. And that is what any cutting machine, any laser machine, that is the path that it will follow. That is why it's important to trace. Even if you're doing it in Illustrator, it's a JPEG or a PNG, you still have to trace it. Then you have to expand it for it to have the cut lines to it. Okay. Just tracing does not give you the path. You have to expand it if you were doing this right in Illustrator. Well, with Silhouette Studio, once you trace it, you don't have to expand. You instantly have cut lines. That's why I say it is easier, especially for beginners, because it's really one step. Because no matter what, in Illustrator, you still have to like adjust certain things. Like so you have to adjust the threshold. There's a threshold in Illustrator trace as well. So it's really one step compared to Illustrator's 2. Okay. So I'm going to turn this line color back off. And we're going to go over to what looks like a butterfly for some. Some people say it looks like toast with jam on it. We're going to go to select trace area. Then we're going to click and put a box around it. Just make sure the box just covers the whole thing. Parts of it's going to fill in with yellow. We're going to go and take that threshold all the way up until all of the edges are masked in yellow. There is some white along the edges, so I'm like maxed out, and I'm still like right here, it's not filled in, so I'm going to have to do some things for that. I like to take my scale down. Sometimes it will smooth the lines out, sometimes it doesn't. 100 is a bit much for this. I'm going to end up with jagged lines, so I'm going to go down. Since I know I'm going to have to do this part anyway, I'm going to go down a little bit. Just to kind of smooth out those lines. And now I'm going to hit trace and detach. So trace and detach, if anybody wants to write that, and you have to write it as a timestamp. So if you put in, let's say 33 minutes, okay? So 33, the colon, and then 00. That will, and then put tracing. That'll let someone know like kind of where they go at for the tracing information. So once we trace and detach, there are little parts in here, like this little splash right here, that's not going to be included in the trace. Technically, like this little piece here, it's not connected. So it's going to be its own piece. Trace and detach will take everything and separate it. If I were to add color to this and move it so that you can see anywhere there's like you see color in between something, that is going to be separated. So if I were to click on this and move it, I'm leaving behind the entire W and all of those little pieces around it. So I'm going to undo that. My recommendation is going to always be, once you trace and detach, instead of instantly just trying to move the image, it's going to be to click somewhere in that negative space and hit delete on your keyboard to get rid of that. That way you can now drag and select everything and be able to, grab it all. Now, this piece right here and this one, they're kind of pointless because they're going to hang off. So I'm going to hold down shift, click, and then move this part. So I didn't even grab that one. So I can now delete those. All right. And we're going to group all of this back together. Now I hold on. Okay, so I actually made it a compound path so that I can double click and you guys can see the edit points around it. That is now the path. If I were to add a line color to this, you would see that red line. That is the path that it will follow, like the machine will follow, whether it's a ROland, Cameo, a portrait, Cricut, Brother, Caesar, or whatever, that's creating that line. Now over here, where it had white and it didn't pick up, I'm going to double click, hold down shift, select these edit points and delete them. That's a quick, those are quick point editing things that anyone can do. So now that we have this, I can technically cut this as is, but the client would have to use transfer paper in order to transfer all of these little pieces. Even though they are grouped together in the system, they move as one. Once they are cut, this would be an individual piece. This would be an individual piece. This would be an individual piece. This, actually, no, that's connected. And then the W. So they would have to either use like transfer tape, or they would have to put down the main ones and then put those down like separately. So 4 different placements. We don't want that. So we want to do what's called a single cut. And I'm going to basically enclose everything into an outline. How we do that? All right, we are at 37. So let's say 37 minutes and 40 seconds is the timestamp for offsetting. Okay. 37 minutes offsetting. If you guys want to put that in the comments, take notes in the comments now, because you're not going to remember it later. Take notes while you are watching. So we're going to go ahead to offset. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go to offset. The offset's really, really big right now. So I want to shrink that down some. So I'm going to bring that down to where the outline goes around all of the loose pieces and it keeps them together. So I want to get that as small as possible to where it's not a super, super big outline. Don't want it too thick, but I want everything to be included as one. Okay. So I'm going to hit apply on that. I'm going to add a random color just so that you guys can see. So you can see that yellow that goes all the way around. Now, what we also see is there's some openings here, 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 and here. I want this to be a one cut, because if not, like, it's something that's supposed to be inexpensive, right? Not too much fuss on it. Well, if I was doing this for a client and I had to weed it out, I'm going to charge them for that time to weed all those inner pieces out. And it's a lot of small ones. As the client, for their customer, that is now extra work. That's more time. They would have to charge their clients more. And this is supposed to be something. So just that little bit will shave off time, which will allow you to provide your customers with a better price. Sometimes we kind of go and we make more work for ourselves, where we have this thing of, oh, they don't understand how much work it takes. I have to do this. Then once it prints, I have to weed out all these parts. Well, guess what? We can eliminate that, and you could probably make, it's not going to be about much, but you'll be surprised at how much shaving off a few bucks, because you're not spending, an extra hour. So whatever your hourly rate is, if you don't have to include that, that can help you close a sale. That is a pro tip. Okay. That is a professor tip right there in how to secure sales. And that is in making your life easier. That way you can pass those savings on and possibly close that deal. Okay. So I need to remove those. So when people ask, well, what is compound path? What does it do when you use release? So because I want to remove those areas, I want it to be solid. A compound path is when two things are overlapped, and where they're overlapped, it creates an opening when you make it a compound path. So to reverse that, we're going to release compound path. So make sure I'm clicked off. I'm going to click onto the outside where it's just the yellow. So I want to just move it. I'm going to undo. I'm now going to release compound path. Now I use keyboard shortcuts. You can right click and use, do release compound path. So there's actually some boxes. So you saw how that filled in. There are some boxes there, which means those pieces still exist. I don't need them, but it's going to be an extra step to, okay, well, I released it. Let me go and click on each one of those and remove them. No, we don't have to do that. All we do is go up here to weld, boom, weld it, because they're on top of each other. They're going to become one. Now, The other part of this is the way the W kind of comes off of the edge. Everything else is really, really solid. And then you have this piece. Now, if you're not going to use a transfer tape, and I use a very low profile, very, very thin vinyl, that can, curl on itself because it's not supported by anything. So I want to just close that off. And it also will just balance it to the other side because nothing else in this design has kind of a loose piece, right? So I want to create some balance to this. How I'm going to accomplish that is by taking that background, right? And I'm going to copy it and then paste in front. I want to take a little piece of like the wave, right? Because I want to kind of just continue. I want it to remain kind of the same. So I'm just going to change it to a different color. So you guys know this is a piece that's on top. Right, I'm going to take a rectangle and put it right here. Hold down Shift, click on that silhouette of the design, and we're going to, we're going to weld. I'm saying weld. Jesus, I'm going to crop it. I'm like, I need to do weld on the next part. So, I'm going to crop it. I'm going to move that to about here. I'm actually going to shrink it some. This is one to where I can kind of skew it and stretch it. I'm probably going to just rotate that like that. Okay. I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to click on the yellow and I'm going to weld those two. Then I have to release compound path again and weld. And I'm going to send that to the back. Now that part is closed off. I got a little piece hanging out here, but not too bad. It's not going to kind of flap all over the place. Now I can do that for, let's say, like this section. And instead of doing the same way, I'm just going to add a point here and then delete these points. I'm going to make this corner and bring that around like that, just so that it doesn't kind of like dip in. Now I do still have like a little dip here. I could go as far as to close this part off. I can make that a wave, but I'm okay with, you know what? Let's just do that. So I'm going to do it again. So I'm just going to duplicate in front. This time I'm just going to take it from the top. Okay, what happened? Place this here. All right, so I just closed that off. All right, so everything now is just solid. I'm going to go ahead and make that white, select everything, and turn off my line colors. Okay. Now that I have that off, I'm going to size it. So for the 20-ounce cups, I'm going to make these under 4 inches in height. The width, I don't really care about. It's more so about the height for me. Although I don't like to go wider than 3 inches either on the width. So I'm going to, let's see. So both of them under, so about there, because now I'm going to hit, they're actually going to hit 4 inches in height and 3 inches in width about the same time. So I want to kind of be a little bit under, so like 3.75, we're going to go there. Now, for me, because this has a straight edge at the bottom, I need to curve this, and oh crap, I don't have my notebook with the, oh man, I don't have my notebook with my dimensions to warp this. Oh shoot. Dang it. Hold on. And I just threw away all of those styrofoam cups. I mean, I literally just threw them away to be able to measure it. And these are 16 ounce. Crap-ola. I'm going to have to go to the store to go buy a styrofoam cup because I really don't know where my notebook is because everything is all over the place. And I don't remember off the top of my head what this should be. Crapola. All right. I'm going to just use this 16 ounce for now, just so that you guys can see. You have to arch this, and this is going to drive me nuts. All right. So this one is 2.5 on the bottom, 3 3/4, 4 3/4. All righty. So we're going to group this. And I'm going to go over here to warp. So we're at 48 minutes and 30 seconds for warp. All right. So what I said, I think I said 3 3/4, 2.5 by 4 3/4. Move it away from the bottom a little bit. And then apply. I know that is way too much of an arch for this, but hey. But that's how you have to arch it. So that way, and I hate when it does this, when you put it on your cup, it doesn't curl up, if that matters to you. If it doesn't, you're like, hey, it's just going on there. It's just supposed to be a little inexpensive thing anyway, then, it won't matter. But that is how you're supposed to do that. But why did it just make all of my text look cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? All right, let me see something. Ooh. Wherefore art thou doing that? Okay, hold on. Yep, 2.5. Oh, maybe Silhouette's acting up because now it's going to be stuck in processing. Oh, that sucks. Oh my gosh. Because the other one was making the font look crazy. Okay, I'm going to just show you the rest of this because that's going to take forever. All right, so I'm going to set this up for 18.3. The height doesn't really matter for now. My machine is set to none. I'm going to paste this. Oh, come on. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I'm like, why did it do the weird? It messed up the text and it became pixelated. Obviously, there's something going on with Silhouette Studio with this warp because now it's stuck on processing. Great. Awesome. Just lovely. And I can't close out. All right. Now is a great time to ask questions because I'm going to have to restart the system. So feel free to ask your questions. Okay. So you see, everything is still technically intact. So we're going to try this again. And put it on its own page. See, the first time I did it so fast, and now it's like taking forever. I was hoping putting it on its own page. I wonder if that's a glitch with it because I haven't had this issue. But it's actually the last time she gave me one that had to be arched. I can't remember when it was. Crapola. And that's the thing that sucks. You can't do anything else while it's processing. Okay, something is seriously wrong with my silhouette. All right, so I'm not going to worry about tapering it for now. And I'm just going to set them up regular. All right, so I'm going to copy this Over here, we're going to make this none 18.3. I'm going to just make this 24. Place this here. And then I'm going to duplicate it. Thought I grouped these. I'm just going to move this one over. And evenly space them. Something must not be grouped. There we go. And then we're going to go down 2 rows. And they only need 16, and I can actually use this for something else because I have a megaphone that I have to do. And if I did that by itself, it would take forever because even though it's small, the way the ROland works, it would still read all the way across. So the same amount of time that it would take, I might as well just put this, right here. So we're going to add this, which this is already traced and detached and all that kind of good jazz. Actually, for this one, I actually meant to do an internal. Okay, apply. And that's going to be my cut line for that. All right, now for all of the others, I'm going to select them all. And I want to put a little bit more space in between each row. Okay, so I'm going to select them all. I'm going to copy. I'm going to paste in front. And because technically they're grouped together, I'm going to hit weld to where those become one. And I'm going to make them green. And what the heck are these little pieces on the side? I don't know. And we're going to make them a compound path so that it all, like when I go to the next step, I can just select it one time. Okay, these both, all right. So I knew something was kind of crazy. This is separate. All right. Okay, I was like, what is that little piece? All right, we're gonna just take these, delete them, and then just duplicate these because I have no idea what was happening with the other ones. All right, so let's try this again. Copy, paste in front, weld. And then once they're welded, I'm gonna hold down Shift, select this one, and make it a compound path. That way they're all one. I checked the size, so it's 11.84. So I'm gonna make my height 12. Then we're gonna go File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive, Wave, and Rocket Man print file. Make that a PDF. In Illustrator, I'm going to go File, Open, and then we're going to go search for Wave Rocketman print file, open. I'm going to click on the green. I'm going to go up here to my colors. I'm going to go to my library and go user defined ROland. That opens this up right here. I'm going to add the color, which is the fill color, but I need it to be the outline. So I'm going to flip that, go up file, save, and I'm done. I now will open this up on my ROland, on Versaworks, and it will be ready to print and cut. This is work for any tumblers or round items, anything that you need tapered. Anything that you need tapered. Like I'm doing a megaphone. This is for a megaphone. I had to use that so that the letters taper the correct way. All right. But that's everything that I do. So I traced and detached it. I modified the file a little bit. I added an offset to it. I group them together, make my duplicates, and then I copy it, paste in front, weld it, make them a compound path, save it as a PDF, open that up in Illustrator so that I can set the cut contour lines, and then I just hit save. Like I don't have to export it. I just click it, flip it, hit save. And now I can go over to my laptop, which is connected to my ROland, open up that file, and that's it. Last call for questions. All right. So if there are no questions, I thank you guys so very much for joining me this morning. Hopefully I will be able to come on this evening for a Q&A because it's Wednesday. On our website right now, depending on when you are watching this, there is a 25% off discount on our 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17 paper. Is it 24 or 15? There's a discount on them. I want to say it's 24% because it was for grad season and it's 2024. So I want to say it's 24% off of the 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17 paper. So go and take advantage of that while the discount is active. You don't have to put any code in. It's already active. It's automatic on there. Just have to have 8.5 by 14 fast dry, 100 sheet packs, or 11 by 17 added to your cart. All right. So thank you guys so very much again. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace. You guys are very welcome.